going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 49. We're almost to that filthy 50, my guy. We're almost there. Week 3.
50.
Oh, was it week 3 or 2?
It was this past week was week 3.
Okay, sweet. Week 3 of the MLS regular season was off and running. We had some crazy games, some crazy upsets, and only one 0-0 match, but plenty of goals. So you're going to want to tap in and listen while we cover all those games. Tap in, baby. Let's go. Bang, bang. Boom. That's how we do it, man. A lot of stuff been going on, dude. It's already been 3 weeks, and I feel like we're just kind of, feels like we're already in mid-season form. We're dealing. We're good. We're having fun. We're in this thing. I was in Disneyland this last weekend, so I got a little bit of color. I don't know if you can see a little bit of.
Still
Probably not.
Very Caucasian.
Whatever, dude. I'm the most Indio person you'll ever see, dude. But yeah, dude, it was fun. It was a nice time. I actually bought a new jersey. I don't have it on right now because I wore it over there. I went to Pele Soccer. You ever seen that? You ever been to Pele Soccer?
I have been to Pele Soccer, but in New York.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I was in downtown Disney, and they have a store, and they had a really nice jersey that I picked up. I copped it. It was expensive because like those nice jerseys are, but I was like, you know what? I'm only gonna buy myself one thing in Disneyland, and for some reason I didn't want anything else. Like I don't like the Disney, like all that, hardcore stuff. Like it is what it is. It's cool for some people, but for me, I was like, I'm gonna go to Pele Soccer, and I'm gonna pick myself a nice, authentic jersey, and that's what I did. So next week I'll wear it.
You do look like a Disney adult, though. I could see you.
Whatever, man.
Are you gonna tease the team, or are you gonna wait till next week?
I'm gonna wait, dude. I gotta wait, but I'll give you this. One of the colors is black.
Okay.
If that helps at all.
The Barca jersey.
Dang, maybe, dude, maybe. But yeah, I'll wear it next week for sure. It's super dirty right now because I was just walking around like crazy in that, and it was like hot. It was like Venice. It was nice. It was nice weather. But how you doing, Fern? How we feeling, dude? Did you watch any games, dude?
Yes, but they were all outside of the MLS besides the Inter Miami game, which I only watched the first half. It was 2-0. I feel like these last few weekends have been so crazy for me. It's hard for me to watch some of the games, so I only watched half of that one. But there's a lot of interesting games that happened over the weekend, so it's going to be exciting to talk about. So.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, before we get into this, let's really quickly get into the leaderboard, the correct leaderboard, if you will.
Hold on. As we speak, 17 minutes into the CONCACAF Champions League game with LA Galaxy, they're up 1-0.
Oh, that's some breaking news right there. Love that, dude. 1-0 against who are they playing again?
The Mount Pleasant.
That's in like Jamaica too, huh? They're playing in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're in California.
Jamaica.
They're going to be in Jamaica next time.
In Jamaica.
Yes, in
Hibiscus.
Hibiscus. But anyways, leaderboard, my friend.
Yes. Look at this.
Boom! Look at the chilena.
You see that?
Okay, man. We got myself there with 26, and Fern closely behind with 24. How many did we get this week, man? How we looking?
So this week you got 9, and I got 10. So honestly, the first week or the first match day, Saturday, I was looking at it and I was surprised because, I got every single game right up until the LA Galaxy game. And then the only ones I didn't get right were obviously the ties because there was just one tie. But I had pretty much every game right up until the LA Galaxy game and the Sunday games. So I had 10, you had 9. So
yeah, calling your way back.
We were vibing with each other because I was about to pick the Philadelphia Union, but then I was like, oh, they've been playing so bad. I don't know if I want to. So I went back and I went to San Jose just because I thought of Timo Werner that week. And then with the Galaxy game, I did the same thing that I did last week. I was this close to picking Colorado, and again I said, fuck Colorado. We're in Utah. so I picked the LA Galaxy, and they let me down.
Yep, exactly, man. I mean, it's just sad. I don't know what happened, dude. It was just insane week for some of these teams that have been just doing so well at the beginning of the season, and now it's just not. So that was a weird week for sure. But we'll get into it right now with the, and then I don't know if you have your drink with the correct overview.
I don't know if I should drink this. It's been sitting on my desk for like 3 weeks now.
Dude, it's a can, bro. It's fine. It's chilling. That's what it's for. You ever seen that video of the guys that they find the cooler with all the, it was in a fire, it was in a house fire. They open it up. It's full of beer.
No.
Beer's so good. They open it up and they have a beer. I don't know if it's AI, but it looked dope as hell.
I wouldn't do that.
Nice warm beer, dude. Imagine if it was cold. That'd be
Ooh.
nice. Okay, let's get into this right now. The first game that we have on the docket for the correct overview is the New York Red Bulls falling to Montreal 3-0, bro. Insane to think about, given the start that the Red Bulls have been having this year with a lot of those young guns, and the start that Montreal's been having, honestly, very bad. Continuing that from last season, what it looked like, but essentially this team just got it done this last weekend. So 3-0 game. Looks like this is one of the ones that you might also have a couple comments to go over, but yes, New York Red Bulls did lose to Montreal 3-0. But I'll turn it over to you on a couple things that you might have for this game.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this game. Just kidding. I have a lot to say. So obviously nobody picked Montreal to win besides maybe Montreal fans. Quick attendance
Even
update.
Even them.
I mean, with the way the New York Red Bulls, I know that Hall's goals were kind of tap-ins, but to be able to score a tap-in, you have to be playing well as a team to even get that opportunity.
Mhm.
So they came in, won 2-0, 1-0 to start off the season. So I was like, you know what? They're looking good. 2-1 actually, not 2-0. They're looking good. Montreal's not looking very good. Let me go ahead and pick the New York Red Bulls. These youngsters have been playing really well. They had a off game. Montreal, I don't know what. I didn't watch the game. I don't know if my cracked player of the week, Wiki Carmona, had something to do with this, but he scored 2 goals. He scored a brace. He scored in the 44th and the 68th minute, and I don't know if you know this or not, but he actually just signed to Montreal from the New York Red Bulls. So obviously
No
he
way.
had some, yeah. So he just had some sort of vendetta against them and scored 2 on them. Avilas actually had a pretty decent game. I know we talked about him a couple weeks ago, how he's a yellow card, red card prone player. They subbed him out in the 61st minute, so they were probably like, yeah, let's get him out of there before he does something crazy. And Brian Vela, who actually just signed from RSL, this whole team had a good game, which it's crazy to see. Hopefully they can turn it around, and this is just a sign of Montreal on an upward trend, and hopefully New York can bounce back from this, because the oldest player they have on their team is Forsberg, who's 34 years old, which, oh, just kidding. Choupo-Moting is 36 years old, but everybody else is 25 and under, so that's crazy. But yeah, very,
definitely a young squad.
Very wild turnout. I mean, Montreal has a pretty young squad as well, because I was looking and their oldest player was 29, who's Owosu. So,
yeah, which is pretty.
When crazy. Like I was gonna say, like it's like if a girl hits you, you can't hit them back, right? It's like if a little kid hits you, you can't hit them back. You got to get the little kid to come back and hit them. So that's what Montreal did. They got the young squad.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, they do have a young squad. It is one of those where, a lot of teams are kind of trying to do that this year, to kind of throw in a younger team and kind of see if they can kind of catch some of these older players that probably are just a little bit slower here and there. I wouldn't necessarily say like some of these players are off of their prime, but like, a good chunk of them might be getting towards that tail end of it. But yeah, Montreal, just to see them win against New York Red Bulls, it should give some life to Montreal and this team. So hopefully, like you said, things to come, better days to come for this team. So we'll see.
Better days.
Going into the next game, another crazy upset. Cincinnati versus Toronto. 1-0 for Toronto. Pretty insane to see. This is another one where I did not even anticipate this one whatsoever. I don't think anybody did really. But when you kind of look at the stats, 57% possession for Cincinnati, 14 total shots, but really
Zero
just
big chances.
yep, zero big chances. Which this is kind of one of those games where you have a key player out that probably is maybe kind of holding this team back a little bit. But I don't even think just one guy is responsible for so much of this offense. But maybe it is at this point, because from what I can see, Cincinnati is not rolling like they usually do. I mean, they've lost against Minnesota. They've now lost against Toronto. Yes, they've been doing well with CONCACAF and a couple other games, but like, what is going on, man? Ever since this season, it just hasn't been the Cincy of last year.
Yeah, I mean, I am gonna say like I feel like even with Ferreira out, I just think the quality that Cincinnati has, they shouldn't be losing games like this, whether you have one player in or out. Um, Again, like I said last week, I don't know if this is formation change or like a whole like complete like tactic change that, like you said, maybe he has something that nobody else does in that team, which clearly he does. He was one of the top 3 players for MVP last year. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what they got to do, but they got to figure it out because they had a 98% attendance at this game. So I don't
Hmm.
know how many of those fans stayed after the final whistle, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not looking good for Cincinnati this year. They're starting to look a bit like, should I say it, LA Galaxy last year. So
Oh, that's a bold statement. I don't know if I would put him there. I mean, from what I
hey,
can see
hey,
too,
they had their best player get injured,
yeah. He,
and
I did see this. Evander did come in 74th minute of this game. So he played 16 minutes of this game, but he only, obviously you're not going to have a
yeah,
major impact here. He only had 19 touches, so it wasn't like he had, a bit, a lot of time to do anything. But from the looks of it, still, I mean, look who you have. You have a Denki that had a 6.2 player rating. Obviously get some touches there, 38 touches, some successful dribbles, a couple shots, I believe, from what it looks like it. But he had defensive contributions. You're basically not firing on all cylinders on the offense. Jeez, that's what I get for drinking soda. But then I think what's really hurting is just kind of that midfield, right? Where you have Valenzuela going for a 5.9 player rating. He was very accurate in his passes, but it just seems like the midfield is not really feeding this team and is not really controlling the pace of this game. So it's kind of falling, and you're getting some players with yellow cards making terrible decisions. It makes the whole team a little bit uneasy. So yeah, for them to lose against a Toronto team that, again, they've been really bad as well, but they did add some pretty big players like Mihailovic and Zimmerman, where you might even see them, do something a little bit interesting this year. So, those Canada teams, they could be coming up a little bit later this season. We'll see.
yeah. And then I mean, while we're talking to about Toronto, I just wanted to go out of my way and apologize to all Toronto fans, whether they saw it or not. But last time I said Insigne was the player that got them their first MLS title. It was not. I looked into it. It was Sebastian Giovinco is who it was, not
Mm,
Insigne. Because I was reading into it. They were like, yeah, Insigne didn't have a very good run. I'm like, what do you mean they won the title? And I was like, oh, not him.
wrong one. Wrong one.
Yep, wrong one. They all
There
look
you go.
alike.
There you go. You're just kidding. I know.
I
Nice.
okay.
But that's crazy. Yeah, for Toronto to beat Cincinnati, it's wild. But I think, better days ahead for both of these teams. So we'll keep rolling on with that one. Another game, too, that was pretty interesting was LA Galaxy against the Colorado Rapids. A 4-1 game. I mean, and not for the team you probably are thinking that won, but it was actually for Colorado that won this game. So, at the end of the day, you did get Colorado beating an LA Galaxy team that looked like they were coming back, like they
Yeah.
were catching steam, you know what I mean, with Joao Klaus and coming in and, maybe putting some of the pieces together up top with Peck and with Paintsill, and maybe Royce was really, coming into his own, and maybe Cedillo also, and Glesnes playing so well on defense. And then this happens.
It doesn't help when 4 minutes after you score your best one of your best players gets a red card. So it probably fell apart from there. Their attack slowed down. I remember, like I said, I didn't watch any of the games, but I was watching the scores as the game happened, and I was like, okay, LA Galaxy, come on, I have you winning. I need these points. You need to come in and win. And then I look away for 10 minutes. I come back and it's 4-1. I'm like, what happened? What happened in this game? Like, I was like, okay, it's going to end in a tie. And then I come back and it ended at 4-1. And yeah, it was crazy. I don't know. Reminds me of last year where they've just been so bad defensively and they just couldn't finish out this game. They could have at least ended with a tie, especially after Peck went out. You got to kind of understand, you know what, we got to be a bit more defensive. So, I don't know what
that's typically from the looks of it, that's essentially exactly where this team fell apart, is where Peck gets this card and then the momentum completely changes and goes to Colorado. And then they get a goal in the, 76th minute. And then, there's kind of back and forth, but then once you kind of get that third and fourth, it's game over at that point. You know what I mean? So I was seeing this too. If you kind of looked at this game on the sides of the field, you see like these piles of snow. I also was thinking, oh, maybe, you know what, LA, they don't really like the cold. Folks from there don't really love the cold. So maybe that had an effect on them. I don't know.
They need to start training in the winter.
I know, right? I never like to say that like the weather conditions really truly impact a professional player, because they really shouldn't. But, when you're probably used to 60, 70 degrees most of the time, to go into Colorado where it was 39 degrees, likely colder by the time this game was over, you're probably feeling that a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, are you on FootMob? Go look at the subs. Connor Ronan came in the 58th minute and he was subbed out 10 minutes later. So I'm wondering if he got injured or something, because yeah, he came in, he came out, but it looks like the guy they brought in for him actually ended up scoring a goal, so it worked out for Colorado.
Huh. Connor Ronan.
Yeah. 58th minute came in, 68th minute came out.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he must have.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
And that was for Colorado, though,
Colorado.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder what happened. Let's see if it tells us Ireland. Oh, it doesn't say anything. That does suck, bro. Anytime you get injured, that's always it's tough. But again, I think we've mentioned this.
Attendance.
What is it?
74% attendance.
Oh, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
15,000 or so. Like, it's not too bad. But again, João Klaus, like, I think I need to put him on my fantasy team in kick base, because this guy has scored, and I believe it's every game at this point. He's had 3 starts, 3 matches. He's had 4 goals. So he's scoring goals in every game that LA Galaxy have. He's playing the perfect number 9 position for this team. And I just think, he can't do it by himself, right?
Yeah.
He can't do everything. So people have to step up and really just kind of, support Klaus up top, as well as play a very defensive game when they need to. And if they can figure that out, then yes, maybe Galaxy can kind of come back, Yeah.
I was going to get mad because I thought I lost in kick base, but I read it wrong. I had 841. He has 652. I thought it was 852. But I finally locked in. I got my teams ready. So look at that, guys. I lock in and I win both my matchups. Coincidence? I think not. So
I have to shout this out, a little plug, because there's one guy in our league that messaged me prior to this week starting, telling me that they were going to beat me bad in fantasy.
Oh my God, is it the same guy that always does that?
Probably. But he was, calling me out, saying, dude, you're about to lose.
He's ass. Yeah, that guy sucks.
He's terrible, bro. So I beat him and I let him know in Disneyland, dude. I was there, and I saw that I beat him, and I was like, dude, what happened? So love to see that one obviously go down. But
the 2 pay to win players playing against each other.
You haven't paid for it yet?
No, and I'm not going to.
Okay. Well, dang, there you go. But yeah, I did end up winning that one, and then this last week for the other league, I think I won because the other guy was over budget. So I hate that. Obviously, I hate when that happens. But anyways, that was fun to rub it in a little bit. Yes, okay, going into the next one, we did have Charlotte versus Austin. 3-1 win for Charlotte. First win of the 2026 regular season. So this one was for me specifically for my cracked player of the week. Spain, the Spaniard, Español, Pep Biel, Pep Guardiola. Just kidding. Pep Biel played a very good game, man. He had 2 goals, 4 big chances created, 80% in shot accuracy, which is very difficult to do in any league, to be honest with you. And then, a 9.3 player rating, man of the match. Very well done for him. But I think the biggest thing here is just, noting that they got those 3 points for Charlotte, where you've seen them lose, tie, and finally get a win this season. It was one of those teams where you were kind of looking at them, you're thinking, man, what's going on? They were playing so well last year. Like, how could they not be, steamrolling the games that they've been having? But this was a statement win. Overall, 72% ball possession for Charlotte, 25 total shots for this team, only 5 for Austin. So they really took it to them. They really took it, made sure that they got those 3 points. And, at the end of the day, they got it done, and, hats off to them. And hopefully the fans now are a little bit more relieved in saying, hey, we're not, we just had to get a couple practice matches in the way. So hats off to them.
Yeah. And they have such a good squad too. Like, they have Reem is a bit old, but he's there. And now that I'm looking at it, they're the only team that scored anyways. The only reason Austin FC has a goal is because Aguimain scored an own goal. So they have Zaha, they have Beal, they have Abada. They have a really good team, and I feel like they just need to lock in a bit, and we'll be seeing a lot of these results. Because I was looking at Pep Biel, and I was thinking, oh, maybe, this is looking good going into the World Cup, but then I saw that he's a midfielder and he plays for Spain, so he's not getting into that team, unfortunately.
Yep. Might be in the 5th string on that.
You know what? If he gets in, that's amazing. But yeah, once I saw he was from Spain in the midfielder, I was like, yeah,
tough competition for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah,
shout out to Pep.
The Pep, well done. Love to see it. Next one up, I had New York City FC versus Orlando for my cracked game of the week. This one was pretty insane to watch, dude. I don't know if you saw any of the bit of this, but just from the beginning of this match, you just could tell that Orlando was not going to have a good day. If you open the highlights on YouTube for this one, and then go to where they kick the ball off, literally from the first kick, it just looks bad. So first and foremost, that's off to New York City FC for winning this game 5-0, 72% possession, 13 total shots, and they gave Orlando 0 big chances, which is awesome for them to do. Right, big day for Maxi Morales, the 39-year-old central midfielder for New York City. So hats off to them. Essentially, like, when I saw this game and I saw what was going down, I was like, dude, yep, Orlando's about to have a long day, my guy. Pass it back right here. Where is it? Is that the first? That was the first kick. Oh,
yeah, this is
right here. Yep. And it's like, okay, they almost score. You're just like thinking, dude, there's like this team is just not awake, is what I'm saying, basically. Yeah. Like, what happened to this team at the very beginning? Like, I don't know if it was just the New York City cold and all that snow that's been dumping over there or what. But they did not do well. And I was like, geez, this is going to be a very long game for this team. But another thing that I wanted to call out for this team was, and I don't know if you've seen this, I don't know if you watched it, but before the game, there was a post going around on social media around the fans of New York City FC and them getting ready for this game, because I believe it was the home opener for New York City FC. So if you go on Instagram, if you just search New York City FC fans, you can see like all these people going to the game, obviously. And they had the pyro, they had the chants, they had the drums, they had people getting excited for this game. It was in Yankee Stadium, which I know you have your feelings about, but at the end of the day, like, this is where they play. And they showed up, dude. It didn't look like an MLS team. Like, this looked like a European style fan base. Like, it looked legit and crazy. Hats off to you guys. I mean, I don't know what New York City FC fans call themselves, but way to go, man.
Oh my gosh, I can't find it, but I believe you.
Okay, here, let me look.
So I have to, like, it's so crazy how fast things come to my head. Like, you say something and just instantly, like, comes to my head, and I have to stop myself from saying things. But I did stop myself that time. I don't know what they call themselves, but it's always a good thing to see a fan base like that. It sucks. They're probably more mad than me that they have to play at Yankee Stadium. They deserve their own stadium. They literally have won the MLS Cup. They're pretty consistently a good team. Last year they were kind of a bit of an underdog going into the playoffs. Freeze had an amazing season, so I believe they have um
Check it
plans
out.
to. Yeah, let's see it. Look at
Look at
that.
this. That's some fans right there, dude. Like,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I'd
I
be
don't
scared.
know. Again, I don't know like what they call
I'd
themselves.
be scared to have an Orlando jersey there.
That or a Red Bulls jersey, bro. Like
Yeah.
you better be wearing blue. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But yeah, shout out to this fan base. Shout out to Fabian Renkel over there, like getting obviously this footage and sharing it with the community out here. That's so cool to see. I love that there's so many people that are into soccer, into football. Original football. And kind of getting into it, man. This is so cool to see. I wish it was something that every single team had in the MLS and was kind of looking at. But man, is that exciting? Man, is that cool to see all these people excited for this, and hopefully it just continues to grow.
Yeah, it says so. I looked it up, and it says one of the official primary supporter group for the New York City FC is the Third Rail,
Mm, that's
or
right.
also Los Templados. It's associated with the nickname the Pigeons.
Pigeons, nice. Love
Yes.
that. So yeah, shouts out to them, man. That's super cool. And also another thing for them to celebrate, because they beat Orlando so bad, they basically ran the coach out of Orlando. So,
Ah,
breaking news.
I would like to
uh,
think Miami had something to do with it too.
yeah, it was probably a couple different reasons.
Oh,
Breaking news here also: Oscar Pareja out as Orlando City coach after 6 seasons. So he was actually one of the more tenured coaches in the MLS. He's been coaching, like I mentioned, for 6 seasons. The guy had a hell of a record. I mean, he had like 110 wins for Orlando, and he had, just
hmm
a lot of notoriety there for the club. But it was a mutual part way for the club and the coach. So I guess from what we're looking at now is just essentially a different direction that Orlando wants to take the club, which is probably needed. I think Orlando's a very great club. I think he's done a great job over the last 6 years, but I think it is time for something a little bit different. When you have such a big club north of you, like Miami, like you're gonna do something to
yeah.
figure that. I don't know if they're north or south, but you have to do something to kind of compete with that market and try to bring fans to Orlando instead of just going to Miami. So we'll
It's
see
not
what
happening.
happens to them. Hopefully it was
They
the
need,
right decision.
they need to get Ronaldo for that to happen. I'll tell you that much. Because with
That
Messi
would be
being
so
there,
cool.
there's never
Yeah.
going to be a chance. Um, but I mean, unfortunate to see a coach lose his job after so long. But I mean, They've been a pretty decent team. At I mean, going 0-3 and not only going 0-3, but being up 2-0, then losing 4-2, and then coming into New York City FC and losing 5-0 is
Yeah.
not a good look. And obviously, the Orlando front office feels like they need to change something up. They got rid of their goalie that had been there for a while,
Hmm.
been a great goalie. He's gone. So there's going to be some changes going on here. And hopefully things go well. Maybe they get, what is his name? Griezmann, like we talked about a couple weeks
Mm.
ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Should
Yeah.
be interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I like Orlando. I really hope they figure it out. So, hats off to New York City, and we'll figure it out for Orlando. Another game I wanted to kind of bring up really quickly was RSL versus Atlanta, because it seems to be where this team is just everybody's talking about them, which is very cool because we're obviously in Utah and we get to see this firsthand. But again, these youngsters, these young players that are just continuing to show up for this team. Not just for this team, but also like while a very good and quality player like Diego Luna is out. So very exciting to see that they're getting some wins without a star player, when the star player, when Diego comes back, like this team can only be that much better. You would hope, right? So very cool to see. Solans, very young, 23-year-old for RSL. Hezer Khani, again on the score sheet. He's 18. And then, the golden boy that's coming up, Xavier Gozo, 18 years old for RSL, getting on the score sheet. So hats off to them, man. I mean, they did end up getting all those goals in the first half. So it was like a 3-1 game at the half. And then, Atlanta kind of comes back towards the end on the 74th with the goal. But it's just exciting to see these young guys, man. I mean, what do you think? I think
Pause.
this is catching fire,
I just gotta pause you for a sec. My bad. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? This is great. I love it when RSL's winning. I'm a plastic fan, like people would say. I only come around when they're winning. So, no, I'm just kidding. No, this gives more hope to the RSL fans that hopefully Luna doesn't leave. But if he were to leave, it looks like they could. They have a few other stars coming up. Obviously, Gozo's a big name. Uh, I don't know if he keeps going how he is, he might even leave the club before Diego Luna does, just because he's younger. Um,
Yeah.
and I was watching a video the other day, and he said he looked up to Lamine Yamal, so hopefully, you know,
Mm,
he can do what Lamine Yamal does for Barca for RSL.
that'd be dope.
Yeah, but no, shout out to RSL, shout out to this young team, and I mean, I guess shout out to the coach because he seems to be doing something right this season. I know last year there was a lot of people that were very disappointed when he wasn't fired coming into the season. So yeah, hopefully RSL keeps doing well.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about Atlanta United. They're still ass from last year, so I don't know how
Yeah.
happy I should be about this win. Obviously, very happy, but
Yeah.
it would be nice if they were at full power and you could say, you know what, we beat Atlanta United when they were good.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, whatever Atlanta's got to do to fix it, they got to do it quick and they got to do it fast, so that that their season isn't in the dumps again like last year.
Mm.
But the question I wanted to pose here was, can RSL become the Borussia Dortmund of the MLS and bring up a lot of young talent in the MLS? Can that be possible for them?
Hopefully they turn into the Borussia Dortmund of the MLS, but they can actually win something instead of disappointing the fans every time.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, no, I don't know if it's because I'm from Utah and I see a lot of the talk that goes around, but I feel like the RSL has a really good academy, and most of the time, obviously, because the owners don't want to spend money, they'll look at their academy and they'll look to build from there and bring players up. Like Glad, I believe, was a homegrown, and this guy is 29 years old now and has been playing with RSL since 2013, from what it says here. So that's 13 years now, and yeah, I think they can be. I feel like Moisa, Gozo, I guess technically Diego Luna, they bought him, but then they kind of brought him up and turned him into the player that he is. So they have really good coaching staff, and I think they can become that, and I hope they do. And they keep the talent. They don't just build it up and then sell it like
yeah,
Borussia Dortmund does. But yeah,
yeah,
I want to see a championship out here in Utah again. I want to go to a
yeah,
parade out in Salt Lake.
yeah. That would be so cool.
Or
So,
or do you think they do it in Sandy?
I mean, if you want people to show up, go to Salt Lake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Hmm.
I would do it there. But yeah, I hope they can kind of turn this into some engine to where they can, generate some revenue. Obviously, they can't keep everyone, so they'll have to get rid of some folks. But at the end of the day, if you can bring something home like a championship, amazing for the fan base, and you're going to get that much more support. So I'm pulling for it. I think you called them out as like your dark horse kind of for the
Hmm.
beginning of this year. I mean, maybe it's early, but I can kind of see it. If they can keep rolling, if they can keep winning, getting some of these wins. So we're
I,
pulling for them. We're hoping for them, and we'll see what happens.
I think I did call it Inter Miami RSL final.
Of course you did. We all did, didn't we? Solid stuff, man. So last game that we'll kind of just touch on here, San Jose versus Philly. 1-0 win for San Jose. One of the thing that I wanted to call out here mainly was Timo Werner and coming in the MLS and coming in hot, man. I mean, he's only 2 games in, but he's had an assist in every single one of these games. I think people expected him to be this goal-scoring machine when he came in, but he's assisting, man, and he's getting this team chances, and they're officially what? 3? Have they played 3? Is it 2-0 at this point?
Yes, let me see. I'll tell you right meow. They are
No,
3
they're
and
3-0. They're 3-0. So, you know, I mean, it's kind of crazy to see that San Jose is kind of on that in that ranks with LAFC and San Diego FC. You know what I mean? Like they're up there. So it's super cool to see. Very different from last year. I hope they continue the momentum, but there's still a lot more season left, so we'll see. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the San Jose team, man.
I feel like Werner just has that pace and probably that, what would you call it? Respect from the players where he came and they know what
Yeah.
he's done out in Europe, so they feel like they have to um maybe put another extra man on him, and that leaves one of his players open, so that's why he's being able to get these assists currently. But I
Yeah.
feel like as he, like you said, 2 games in, as he gets more comfortable with the team, he'll be able to get into those positions that they need, and we'll be definitely seeing a lot more goals from him. So I'm
Yeah.
excited. Obviously, it sucks that all these California teams are doing well, but we'll see.
I know. That's what always happens though, man. The thing that's also crazy too, I was looking at Timo Werner's like salary throughout the years. The highest he's ever been paid is 110 million back in 2020.
For Tottenham,
Chelsea.
ooh,
And you know how much his contract is now at San Jose?
10 million.
4.2.
Oh,
I just can't
dang.
imagine having a salary of 110 million and then going down to 4.2. I mean, I'm happy with 4.2.
I mean, yeah, but
But when you're
comparatively,
making when you're
yeah.
making 10 million a month, like that's a
I
drastic lifestyle change.
I mean, Messi's making 80 million a year is what came out recently in the news from all his like sponsorships and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's
So
crazy.
yeah, but it's just insane to see. So, but anyways, that was kind of the roundup for last week. Very exciting, a lot of crazy games, obviously, but we'll kind of get into a couple different things here with the news, with the major headlines going through Major League Soccer. The big one that maybe a lot of people have been watching and seeing: Carlos Vela joins LAFC ownership group. You want to take
Whoa,
this one?
whoa, who is that?
Who is he? Who is he?
Carlos Vela. Oh my gosh, Messi, bro, you should have broke his record, dude. Crazy. Um, no, so Carlos Vela is a Mexican player that came. And was he part of the first group
hmm
of LAFC players? So he started off there, and this dude, when I tell you, he was popping off. What was his record? Do you remember his goal record? It was like 40
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, so basically all-time MLS games played is 152, goals is 78
Oh, I
all-time,
had it on the
and then
dot.
assists is 42. But he did have the record for
Yeah,
most goals in a season, which
yeah,
was 34.
34. Yeah. So this guy is probably one of the MLS's greatest players, which is kind of crazy to say because he joined in 2018 and he left
August
what,
17.
August 17th
hmm
of 2018.
I mean, he was signed as a DP in August of 2017, but he played their inaugural season of 18. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. And yeah, and he retired in 2014, so that was 6 years later. So in those 6 years to become a legend in 6 years is very crazy. But yeah, he has currently or officially joined the ownership group for LAFC, so that's good to see these legends coming in and wanting to still be a part of the MLS. I feel like that's a very good look for the league where people have said it's a retirement league. People only come for the money. And
hmm
this guy came in. He probably did come for the money, but he left loving the league, loving the club that he played for. And now he's joining the ownership group and is a club ambassador. And I mean, I feel like this is a very good look for the league to see players like this come in and want to be part of a team.
yeah. No, it's a good look. I think it's a really good look with LAFC as a team,
Hmm.
showing that, hey, like you've had a very successful year, or sorry, career with the
Hmm.
club, with the MLS. We want to bring you in. Something I saw was like they made him, I think it was like what is it, a circle of honor or something
Hmm.
like that, something that I saw. They basically like made him like a legend at the club, and so they kind of brought him in. Obviously, gave him ownership, and it just kind of says like, hey, like we believe that you're something very special here to the club, the players, the fans, and we want to continue that relationship, right? Can that be said about every club in this league? Well, it's yet to be seen. But for LAFC, I feel like they're always, constantly just for the fans, for the club, for the players. Like this is such a strong club, and a strong relationship within the MLS that it's just super cool to see. Hats off to them for doing that, man. I'm excited to see what he brings to this team and like kind of what he can maybe influence in terms of like talent that they can bring in, more talent, but also how they can kind of get more involved with the community, kind of be that big team out in Los Angeles, bigger than maybe what Galaxy is. But it's only brighter days ahead now that Vela's
Yeah.
here. So hats off to the Mexican international, man. I wish it would have been, you would want something like that for San Diego, where they also
Mhm.
had a Mexican international, but sometimes things
Hey,
don't work out always.
um, I'm looking at the picture of their trophy lift on this article. They got Gareth Bale, have Chicho Rango, they have Carlos
Yep.
Vela, and they have Boanga in this picture. I'm
Well,
like, dude,
yeah.
what is this lineup? And I went to go look, and do you remember watching this final? Because I watched this final. Do
Did
you
they
remember
play?
watching
Did they
it?
play Red
They,
Bulls?
they
Who did
played
they play?
Philadelphia Union,
I don't think so.
but I forgot because so the Philadelphia Union scored in the 120th minute plus four, and you're like, okay,
Oh, I
game's
do
over.
remember
And
this.
Gareth Bale came and scored a header in the literally last
Yes.
minute, 120th plus eight. Yeah, and this
Jeez.
I completely forgot about this game, but yeah. So shout out to
Wow.
Carlos Vela, um, coming here to the MLS and hopefully helping grow, help bring some players over to not just LAFC, but
Yeah.
maybe RSL.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. That's super cool. But yeah, way to go, Carlos Vela. We're wishing you nothing but success. So, very cool headline there. Another one that I kind of wanted to look into was sticking with the MLS. There has been an issuance of a lifetime ban
Mm.
for two previous MLS players. So I don't know if these names kind of ring a bell, but Derek Jones and Yaboa issued lifetime bans for the MLS for violating a gambling policy. So basically, what happened was they found out that these two players were kind of betting on each other to get a yellow card, right?
Uh-huh.
And they kind of found out that they were getting a yellow card. Was it intentional? I think it's yet to be determined fully. But they also are trying to see if they also had a couple other people, involved in, saying and betting that these people are going to get a yellow card. And so they still kind of have to figure that part out. But essentially, that's just a big no-no. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can't be kind of doing that. It feels like every year now it's almost like, hey, something comes out about some gambling ring and people kind of making money here and there. I don't get it, man. I just don't get like why you would risk your career for gambling for like your profession. You know what I mean? Like I get like money and I understand that whole ideology of wanting to, look out for friends or family or whatever, like, but to gamble on something that like you're currently in, like it just doesn't sit right with me. And I don't understand like why people would do it, you know?
Have you ever hit a 15 leg parlay though?
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know.
So Yeboah was actually the person who scored the game winner for the Columbus Crew to win the MLS Cup against LAFC back in 2023. I
Hmm.
know you're at. So that's nuts. I'm with you. I get it. If you're outside of the game and you're gambling and you want to do that with your money, go for it. But you also have to understand that those rules are in place for a reason. Obviously, if you can bet on yourself getting a yellow card and you purposely, go in and
Hmm.
get a yellow, it's like inside trading type stuff. So
Yeah.
sucks for them that we'll never be able to see Yaboa come in as a owner for the Columbus Crew or anything like that now.
Yep.
But I mean, it could have been worse, you know. So
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
true.
just being banned from the MLS is, I would say, a pretty lenient punishment.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure. For sure. So we'll see. I mean, I think there's, like I said, there's something that's always coming out, but I would hope that players have a little bit more dignity and respect for some of this and understand that, yeah, like at the end of the day, can you make some money off the side with some stuff? Sure, but do it in a different way, maybe, because there's definitely other people that maybe are also gambling on some of these games, and for you to like kind of have that insider trade esque mindset and like understand kind of that you have like the cards on your hand to make certain things happen. Like, I just don't, it doesn't sit well with me. So hopefully, that doesn't happen anymore. But again, who knows how deep this like gambling ring thing really goes. So, well, I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll hear about this in the MLS.
yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know how these companies find out. Obviously,
Yeah.
they have people monitoring stuff like this, but it's still
Yeah.
crazy to me that they can. Because I'm assuming,
Probably from your account. Like you
well,
probably
yeah,
have it linked.
because you have to put your social security and all that stuff. No,
Maybe, or at least
I
in
believe.
like a bank account, and the bank account's probably
Yeah,
linked to some information. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty insane to think about. So we'll see what happens here in the future with gambling. Couple things here for the USL. I know we mentioned this last week. The United Soccer League, like we mentioned, they've kind of been doing this, kind of a union thing, somewhat holding a strike overhead to the USL as a potential for this last weekend, their opening weekend. And what these players ended up doing in protest was they held like a minute of a standstill, of silence, whatever you might, whatever you want to call it. But if you kind of noticed with some of these games and kind of how it was televised, they didn't show this during the game. You know how they always have like the beginning and they show kind of the
Mhm.
kickoff. They would pan out and kind of show, fans, whatever else they could for that minute stretch or whatever, however long it was. And then once it finally started to kind of play, then you kind of saw, the game going and everything looked la-di-da and fair, right? But again, this is just one of those things where how long can this go? How long can the USL cover this up and just figure this out for the sake of the players, for the sake of the league, for the sake of the fans?
I feel like them trying to cover it up is a worse look than just showing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously people will be like, well, why are they showing the fans instead of what's going on? And then maybe possibly they'll go out and do their own research and be like, oh, this is why they're doing it. Well, that's kind of messed up that they're, covering it up instead of just being like, okay, this is what happened, this is what's happening. Because obviously when you try and hide it and then somebody goes out and looks for it, it just makes you look worse than it should. So
Yeah.
obviously things like this happen. People have to understand there's going to be conflicts. We said it what, last week, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is a not a normal thing, but it's happened before. Obviously the NBA had a complete shutdown of their league due to stuff like this. So it's not. I just think it's a bad look from the USL to be trying to hide it.
Yeah, for sure. I just know, like, I mean, and again, I'm not in this space too well to where I've been like an owner of anything of this magnitude, but I would always just think like if I was an owner of a team, like sure everybody needs to get paid and I understand that. Like I as an owner, you even need to get paid, right? Like you need to understand
Mhm.
that, people need to, keep the lights on, people need to feed their families, do this and that. But to kind of like stiff the players or the team, like it's not a good thing to do. Like how can you not pay these people and like recognize that this is the out of the entire process, out of the front office, ownership, players, fans, like everything is important, yes, but the team, the players is the most important of that process. And I was watching. Have you watched that Michael Jordan documentary,
I've never
The
watched
Last
it.
Dance?
Yeah, I
You
know
never
which one you're
watched
talking
it,
about. I've never watched it.
dude? It's so good, bro. You got to watch it. It's amazing. But basically, in the first episode, you kind of learn about like Michael Jordan's perspective of the owner of the Bulls and how he basically thought that the team or the players were not equally, or they weren't as important of the whole process of the overall like organization. It was like the organization, the front office wins the leagues and not just the players, And obviously, when you have a player like Michael Jordan, that's going to piss him off. He's going to say something. He's going to do things. It just kind of creates this big thing. But like, don't piss off your biggest asset there. The players. It's just so wild to me.
Yeah.
Take care of them, and they'll take care of you.
It's so crazy to me to think that they're the ones winning the games when the players are out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they said on the documentary. They were like, "Well, has the owner ever posted up against so and so teams and tried to make a basket?" Like, no, they haven't. And exactly, like the owners aren't the ones sliding around trying to shoot.
Putting
Getting
their body
injured.
on the line.
Exactly, like they're not doing that. Like, pay these players, man. Like, if you want to be taken seriously, if you want people to come and play for these teams, for your teams, pay them, get them what they need.
Bring me my money.
Exactly.
As
they say. Cool things. So last thing to kind of go over before we kind of wrap it up and go into some of the picks, the CONCACAF Champions Cup, like we've mentioned, is underway. The round of 16, man, is up and going as we speak. Who's playing right now? LA Galaxy. Galaxy is playing as we speak today. Like, it is Wednesday. It's like
47th minute, 2 minutes into the second.
47th minute. Okay, solid. Because like we mentioned last week too, we mentioned a couple of these upcoming games, and one of them for today just looks so spicy.
Oh, can I stay up that late though? I don't know.
You should be able to.
I mean, we're pretty much. I'm like,
you're the jefe. You're the jefe, dude. You can. Okay, round of 16. So yesterday we did end up having Philadelphia Union lose to Club America. Club America, obviously a very strong team always for Liga MX. But a big thing here for this game was the loss that Club America had back in their goalkeeper. I don't know if it's going to show it on here, but basically the goalie, ¿cómo se llama? I feel like we just talked about him.
We did. Go up. That's right there. Malagon. That's what it is. Far right.
What does it say?
Far right.
Oh, yep, Malagon. So he did, from the looks of it, he did suffer an Achilles tear. So he will be out clearly for some time, but it's a bigger loss for the Mexican national team because he was the starting goalkeeper for Mexico. So that is a big loss for them. It's one of those things where, it's just not your day. It's not your time. So that's very unfortunate for America as well as Mexico. But they did end up getting the win against Philadelphia for the first leg.
Yeah, I'm currently watching the video. Not his injury, but I just saw that they had to cart him out of the freaking field, dude. That sucks.
Yeah.
But every time I see Philadelphia lose a game, it just pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. Just thinking of how they got rid of all their players and they're just tanking. But
no, it was a very different strategy for sure.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for these MLS teams after the first round. I'll say that. Obviously, Philly lost. LAFC tied. Inter Miami MLS tied. Kind of a boring game. Right. I haven't seen it, but usually when it ends 0-0, couldn't have been too good. And then obviously the LA Galaxy is currently winning, so I hope San Diego can pull something off tonight. And then obviously tomorrow we have some more games, but who got a yellow?
Nelson.
Oh, yeah. So hopefully, obviously, I want Miami to win it all, but as long as these MLS teams are winning and showing the progression of the league, then
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
As long as we don't have another Vancouver Cruz Azul final with a crazy scoreline.
Bro, Vancouver's so ass, dude. They make the finals for nothing.
I know, dude. That was so unfortunate. But yeah, I think the good game to watch here is definitely going to be San Diego Toluca. Two powerhouse teams. I mean, San Diego's just playing so well in the MLS. And then Toluca, I don't believe they're top of the league as of right now, but they are a top team every year for the past, 3 years?
Yeah, I think they've won like 2 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe. 3 in a row.
The only game I know about Toluca is the last time they played Chivas, because I have a friend that's a Chivas fan, and I know Toluca beat them, so he lost the bet. And then previously he had a bet against Cruz Azul, and they also lost against Cruz Azul. So, I mean, maybe Chivas isn't in the CONCACAF Champions Cup for a reason.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
just me
probably.
talking smack on my friend's team. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Nice. So yeah, I mean, and then like you mentioned, there is some games tomorrow with Cincinnati going up against Tigres and Vancouver and Sounders. So plenty of MLS action for today, tomorrow, and then into the weekend, and then next week we get the ones that actually matter, right? The second games of the second leg of the round of 16, which at the end of the day will determine who goes into the quarterfinals. I'm excited for this, man. I think these are some really good games. We'll probably cover these a little bit more next week. But yeah, we'll see. I think as of right now, for me, I would hope to see San Diego advance. I would hope to see Galaxy. I think Cruz Azul could get out of this one. If LAFC somehow loses, I'll be super sad, but I don't think they will. Hopefully they advance as well. But this one right here, man, I need to see Nashville win. I need to see them take the revenge. And I know it's going to make you unhappy, but it's got to be done. It's got to get done.
What revenge?
From last year. Wasn't it last year that they played?
Yeah, but they're bad. They can't get revenge.
Dude, if they win, you should make a bet.
What? What do you want to bet?
If Nashville wins, you gotta buy a Nashville jersey.
Hell no. I'm not buying a Nashville jersey.
The bet, dude.
I'll buy a Nashville jersey, but I'll put Messi on the back.
Oh my gosh, you can't do that, dude.
And then you know what? If we'll think of something, I'll think of something. I'm not buying a jersey though.
But I do think the Liga MX teams could win here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how confident I'm feeling about Cincinnati, especially after what they showed us this past weekend. Hopefully we're wrong and they do win this game against Tigres, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we hope an MLS team wins this, but yeah, Tigres, Cruz Azul, America, they're going to be tough. So we'll see what happens.
LAFC did tie at home, so now they got to go to Jamaica to try and win.
Jamaica, they got to go to Hibiscus.
In an away game, so we'll see how that goes. I wonder what their stadium looks like. So
yeah. Oh no, no LAFC. This is Costa Rica. Jamaica is this guy.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah, these guys are in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Dang, what
nice
the
stadium
heck,
or what?
bro? The MLS needs to. Here, I'm gonna show it right here. I'm gonna screen share it. Look at these pictures. Why can't the MLS have stuff like this? Come on. Oh, this is a planned stadium for 2025. I'm done.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that doesn't look.
I was like, dang, it's probably this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we need some stadium upgrades, guys. Come on.
For sure, dude.
Rio Tinto.
They are. There's some of them. The New York City one's looking good, and then that Freedom Park, it's gonna look nice. That's for sure. Okay, cool. Those are the big headlines. Now going into our picks for this upcoming weekend, man, or at least the best games for this upcoming weekend that we see. Looks like we do have a full slate on Saturday and 3 matches on Sunday. While we're kind of looking into this for this weekend on Saturday, some big games, man, some big games that we're looking at right now. Let's take a look. I mean, if you're asking me, if I'm a betting man, which I am, I'm looking at Charlotte and Miami. I'm looking at Toronto, New York, actually. And then I'm probably also looking at Dallas, San Diego, which I have highlighted right there. And the reason I say Dallas, San Diego is Dallas has looked like a pretty good team this whole season. Just kind of, they lost to LAFC, but, for them to tie Nashville, beat Toronto, like they've actually looked pretty decent. I think they don't, get as much credit just because it's maybe a smaller market team here, but I think their team is pretty good. Moose has been playing very well, and I can see them, keeping up with San Diego, but we'll see.
I wouldn't call Dallas a small market.
No, but for soccer, probably.
I guess, yeah.
But, can they beat San Diego? I doubt it, but this will be another one where it's like, can they only lose like 1-0, right? Versus like LAFC, like, can they lose by a very small amount or even get a tie? Like, that would be a win for these guys,
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. I see some pretty good games on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Philadelphia versus Atlanta is going to be a good look for either of these teams as long as it doesn't end in a tie. I think that'll be a good game. Charlotte and Inter Miami as well. Like, that's I just feel like
Yes.
Miami did not play well against DC United. I'll tell you that much. They did win 2-1, but they should have won by more. Obviously, they tied 0-0 today against Nashville. Falcone seems to have picked up an injury. Um, so we'll see. Obviously, Charlotte hasn't won a game up until last week. So I'll still be picking Miami to win, but this will be a very interesting game. This is out in Charlotte.
Yep.
So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully another record breaking what's it called? Attendance record for Charlotte out there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a pretty big stadium. It's the NFL stadium that they play in, but will they fill up the full 75? I don't think so, but definitely will be pretty packed. So, but I do I agree with you. I think their offense is very stacked. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, as good as Reem can be, he is much older. And I don't think they're gonna be able to stop him, to be honest. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll have their day.
They did play, but they did play bad against DC United though, and they're kind of
So we'll
bad.
see. This could be one of those where it ties. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, cool. And then going into Sunday, we have 3 games: New England, Cincinnati, Vancouver, Minnesota, San Jose, Seattle. Biggest one that stands out for me: San Jose, Seattle. Again, San Jose is on a freaking tear right now. 3 wins, 3 games. Seattle barely beating St. Louis this last week. But again, Seattle's always a strong team. They're going to play in San Jose. I mean, I think San Jose keeps rolling. No? I mean, they can't possibly drop the ball against Seattle, you know?
I mean, this is going to be a tough game. I could see this game being a bit of a shootout, but ending in a tie. But
Really? Okay.
yeah, but if I had to guess, well, I have to guess. I would pick. Oh, this is tough. I'd want to say San Jose, honestly.
Ooh, okay. Because I'm probably gonna go with San Jose. So, I like the team. I hope they do very well. I hope they, that last year I was hoping for them and they didn't do anything. So with a younger team this year, maybe they can kind of get it done, and maybe Timo Werner can kind of
Why does it keep coming off the
continue.
bench?
I don't know, dude. I don't know why. It doesn't say he's got a knock or anything. It's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
the way he's been doing it, I guess. Maybe he's just kind of getting acclimated. I'm not sure.
How many minutes did he play on the games before he joined? Does it say? No,
What
he
do you
didn't
mean?
even play any. Look, because it says how much time he's played in those games. If you go to your right
Oh,
a
yeah,
bit,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he barely even played. So maybe he's just getting back into fitness or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know why he's not starting. Maybe, I mean, if it's working for him to come in the second half, do that.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I mean, it is
So,
working.
yeah, exactly.
Did
So,
you? Sorry, I was thinking of how maybe he was tired, and I was thinking of his physical, and then I thought of Max Crosby got traded to the Ravens, and
oh,
he's actually getting sent back to the Raiders because he felt his physical. It just made me think
yeah.
of that.
That was a whole
Crazy.
deal. That was a whole ordeal, man. I
Yeah,
saw some video on it and I was like, damn, that's some like Ponzi scheme and stuff right there. It's kind of wild, but
that's crazy.
um
They're
good
like, we
stuff,
want our
man.
picks back.
I know, right? And who wouldn't want Max Crosby, dude? Like that's insane to kind of take that one back. But Ravens, they're doing what they do. Again, I'm not a big NFL expert, but why wouldn't you want a Max Crosby, bro? He's a freaking stud. So, okay, cool. So that was kind of all the bases we wanted to cover for this week. Plenty of games going on this weekend. CONCACAF action this week, and then we got plenty more next week. We'll also have a little bit more of like a World Cup update, just given that that's kind of started to kind of dwindle down. And then there is a qualifier / playoff this month that we'll sort of kind of get into. So, anything that you guys maybe listening, want us to kind of cover and kind of go over, we're happy to do so. We're still on fantasy football, or fantasy soccer. We're still doing that, which has been super fun. But that's basically it, man. Any last comments, mentions from you, my friend?
Just please like and subscribe, and keep watching the pod. And thank you for the support. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, there you go. Again, we're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Give us a follow, subscribe, comment, all the above. We appreciate y'all. Peace.